What if I told you that beneath the glittering surface of immense wealth lies a shadowy world where desire can spiral into dangerous obsession? In our story today, we delve deep into a tale that is as thrilling as it is chilling, a true crime mystery that exposes the darker side of temptation and power. Imagine a life adorned with luxury, where charm can open doors to forbidden desires. But sometimes, what begins as a captivating indulgence takes a sinister turn, leading to an unexpected and harrowing outcome. Tonight, we unfold the story of a sugar daddy whose obsession became a ticking time bomb, culminating in a plot that shocked everyone involved. As we traverse the intricate web of passion and peril, we'll explore the dynamics of such a relationship, the promises that ensnared an unsuspecting young woman, and the unraveling that led to a dark murder scheme. This documentary promises to peel back the layers, exposing the fragile line between opulence and obsession, revealing how overwhelming desire can lead to unspeakable acts. Stay with us as we unravel this gripping narrative, where every twist and turn beckons you to look deeper into the shadows. The charm of the sugar daddy lifestyle captivates many, seducing them with the promise of extravagance and ease. Picture lavish dinners at five-star restaurants, spontaneous trips to exotic locales, and designer wardrobes that most only dream about. For some, this is not just a lifestyle, but a fairy tale come to life. The allure for those drawn into the orbit of a sugar daddy is immense. On one side, you have the older, affluent individuals offering wealth and experience, fulfilled by the admiration of youthful energy and beauty. On the other side, the young men or women seeking financial support alongside a taste of luxury, enchanted by the prospect of living a life beyond their means. Society views these arrangements with a mixture of fascination and skepticism. Some see them as modern-day arrangements of mutual benefit, while others cannot look past the transactional nature, questioning the authenticity of such a connection. However, it is precisely this complex interplay of power, attraction, and ambition that keeps people intrigued. These relationships attract attention because they blur the lines between genuine affection and opportunistic pursuit, serving as a mirror reflecting societal values around wealth, age, and love. Yet beneath the surface, the very elements that make these relationships so enticing can also be the ones that lead to their unraveling. As we continue to peel back the layers of our story, you'll see how the allure of the sugar daddy lifestyle set the stage for a narrative far darker than its glamorous beginnings. Meet the main figures of our gripping narrative. Imagine a world where every desire is within reach, a realm where opulence is a way of life. Meet Richard, the main figure in our story, a man whose wealth is matched only by his captivating charm. Born into affluence, Richard's life was one of privilege from the start. He frequented the most exclusive social circles and lived in a sprawling mansion that seemed to echo his larger-than-life persona. His personality was a mix of charisma and enigma, a man who commanded attention without uttering a word. Yet beneath this facade was a need for control, an unquenchable thirst for admiration that only intensified over time. Richard's foray into the world of sugar daddy relationships was not by accident. It was propelled by his desire to relive the vigor of youth and surround himself with beauty and adulation. He sought out those who could fulfill this fantasy, leading him to cross paths with a young woman who seemed to be drawn from his dreams. Little did he know, this seemingly perfect match would set into motion a chain of events that would reveal the darker side of his nature. It was a union that promised excitement, but would soon become a precarious dance on the edge of obsession. As we delve deeper into this portrait of Richard, you will understand how his need for control and admiration slowly morphed into something far more sinister, paving the way for the chilling events that followed. Stay tuned as we peel back the layers of this enthralling true crime story, exploring the individuals who found themselves ensnared in Richard's web of allure and danger. The young woman's tale begins in a small town where streets were lined with old oak trees, and the horizon offered little promise of escaping the mundane. Meet Emily, a vibrant soul with dreams that soared far beyond the confines of her modest upbringing. Born to a hard-working family, Emily's childhood was filled with tales of adventure and grandeur, fueling her desire to carve out a life that shimmered with excitement and opportunity. Despite limited means, she was determined to reach beyond her circumstances, harboring ambitions of a future that sparkled with possibility. Emily's natural charm and beauty caught the attention of many, but it was her intelligence and ambition that set her apart. With dreams of attending an elite university and becoming an architect, she sought ways to finance her education without burdening her family. As fate would have it, Emily stumbled across a world that seemed to promise everything she longed for. It was within this realm that she met Richard. Their paths crossed at an exclusive gala that she attended as a guest of a friend. The allure of the lifestyle dangled before her, opulence within reach like the glistening skyline just beyond her fingertips. Emily was entranced by Richard's world of luxury, his promises of support and mentorship offering her a seemingly golden ticket. In her eyes, this was not merely an arrangement, but a stepping stone towards the life she envisioned, filled with travel, learning, and self-discovery. Richard painted a picture of shared experiences, lavish escapades, and a partnership that transcended the ordinary. His promises whispered to her desires, igniting a passion to chase her dreams without delay. Yet beneath the glamour, a subtle disquiet lurked, unnoticed in the glow of opportunity. As Emily navigated this new reality, she believed she was steering her own destiny. Little did she know, she was stepping into a whirlwind that would challenge everything she held dear. This is Emily's tale, a chapter of aspirations mingled with unforeseen shadows, setting the stage for the ominous twists that awaited. As we journey further, we will see how dreams, once bright and buoyant, can become entangled in a web of obsession and deceit. The building of obsession started like the quiet stirrings of a storm, subtle yet undeniable. In the beginning, Richard's attentions were flattering, a heady mix of compliments and regal gestures that left Emily enchanted. They dined in candlelit restaurants high above the bustling city, where the world seemed both distant and at her feet. Each evening was a new adventure, every moment a chance to bask in the glow of this seemingly charmed existence. But slowly, a change began to creep in. What once felt like adoration started to take on a different hue. Richard's need for control became more pronounced, his requests shifting from the expansive warmth of caring suggestions to the steely cold of demands. Emily noticed the subtle shifts in his gaze, the way it lingered a moment too long when she laughed with friends or dared to entertain the idea of pursuing her dreams independently. There were moments small enough to dismiss, yet haunting in retrospect, a forgotten meeting that spiraled into a tense confrontation, a gift that carried unspoken expectations, a conversation that seemed to walk the thin line between concern and command. These were the red flags waving in silence, easily overlooked amidst the dazzle of diamonds and decisions made in grandiose gestures. Yet, the psychological dance was becoming more complex. Richard's attentiveness, now bearing the weight of obsession, seemed to envelop Emily, wrapping tighter with each passing day. His world of grandeur, once a playground of freedom, began to feel like a gilded cage. Emily found herself questioning, her intuition whispering truths that her heart was hesitant to acknowledge. As this intricate dance continued, the charm Richard once wielded with ease took on a darker tone. Control became possession, and Emily, once an equal in this grand theater, was becoming a cherished prize to be guarded closely. But who could have known that beneath this intricate play of emotions, a more sinister script was unwinding? The path toward obsession was laid brick by intricate brick, turning a simple romance into a labyrinth of unexpected twists and hidden peril. As we delve deeper into this tale, the true cost of unbridled desire starts to unfold, setting the stage for the ominous crescendo to come. The crumbling facade of Richard and Emily's relationship began to show itself through moments of tension that seemed to whisper of a deeper discord. It was as if the castle of dreams, built on promises and luxury, began to reveal its fragile foundations. The first significant incident unfolded during one of Richard's lavish parties, an event where elegance met extravagance, yet beneath the sophisticated veneer, a thread of unease unraveled. Emily, having grown more independent, engaged in a spirited conversation with a guest who shared her passion for architecture. What was a simple discourse turned into a spark of envy in Richard's eyes. That evening, the tension lay thick between them as Richard's patience wore thin, his charm slipping to reveal a glimpse of possessiveness. Emily's dreams now seemed like distant stars. Another incident of growing conflict was Richard's reaction when Emily expressed a desire to further her education. What was once a shared vision became a point of contention. Richard insisted her place was by his side, dismissing her aspirations with a wave of his hand, and his words, once tender, now echoed with condescension. This dismissal ignited the understanding that the partnership they once cherished was slowly becoming a battleground of control. The final straw was a gift, intricately chosen, yet bearing a weight Emily found suffocating. A bracelet, beautiful but binding, a symbol that she was his possession more than his partner. The gesture, though wrapped in opulence, seemed to tighten around her wrist, a reminder of the freedoms being quietly taken away. Each of these moments chipped away at the facade, revealing the underlying shadows that plagued their relationship. Emily realized the dream was turning into a waking nightmare. The world of grandeur Richard offered was becoming a haunting echo of what was lost, and their once vibrant connection was now a haunting reminder of how obsession could turn enchantment into entrapment. As the walls of this facade crumbled around them, they each stood on a precipice, unaware that the story was spiraling towards a fate neither had envisioned. Stay with us as we delve further into the unraveling of this tale, exposing the chilling realities that hid behind their glamorous facade. Dark intentions began to cloud Richard's once charming demeanor, casting long shadows over the glittering facade of his life. His mind, once focused on maintaining a life of opulence and admiration, now teetered on the brink of something far darker. It was as if a storm was gathering within, fueled by pressures both external and internal, creating a tempest that threatened to overwhelm reason and restraint. Richard's business empire, the source of his wealth and status, was not immune to the market's unpredictable tides. There were whispers of financial strain, rumors that gnawed at his confidence, adding fuel to the already smoldering fire of insecurity. Each day, the weight of maintaining his empire rested heavily on his shoulders. As his grip on the external world began to slip, his need to assert control over his personal life became more pronounced. But it wasn't just business pressures shaping his darkening mindset. Richard's personal struggles were etched deeply into his psyche, remnants of a childhood shadowed by expectations and emotional distance. The allure of money and power had in part filled the void created by his need for connection and validation. Yet, in his relationship with Emily, he saw not just a partner, but an extension of his quest for power, a means to assert his dominance and fulfill a need for absolute control. Psychological issues, long buried beneath the veneer of success, reared their heads, twisting his perceptions and warping his intentions. His thoughts, once filled with dreams of shared experiences, became clouded with paranoia and possessive obsession. Trust, a fragile thread, frayed under the weight of imagined betrayals and fear of losing the one constant he felt he could control. The world around him, once a playground of indulgence, now seemed to close in, walls tightening as his mind spiraled down corridors of dark fantasy. Richard's intentions, no longer guided by affection and admiration, veered into sinister territory. The seeds of a plan, unthinkable and chilling, took root in his consciousness. A plot that whispered promises of ultimate control, a final act that would ensure he never faced the torment of loss again. It was a descent into darkness, a path paved by desperation and delusion, where each step forward was shadowed by the ghosts of his past and the relentless pressure of maintaining his kingdom. As we delve deeper into this unsettling transformation, we begin to see how the lines between desire and destruction blurred, leading Richard down a harrowing path of no return. Stay with us as we uncover the chilling progression of his intentions, unraveling the twisted logic that set the stage for an unimaginable act. The murder plot unfolds as the chilling echoes of Richard's obsessions began to mold a sinister reality. It all took shape in the quiet corners of his mind, where shadowed ideas lurked, whispering solutions to the turmoil that gripped him. The plan was simple in its inception, born from the twisted need to maintain control, to possess completely, no matter the cost. Richard's thoughts were consumed by visions of a life unchallenged, where Emily would remain within the grasp of his influence forever. The details coalesced during long nights of restless pacing, the dim glow of city lights casting eerie shapes across the room. He saw the plan unravel in vivid clarity, like a script written by the darkest parts of his psyche. It began with a seemingly innocuous invitation, a trip to the secluded beach house Richard frequented during his business retreats. In his mind, the isolation promised an opportunity, a place where interruptions were but whispers carried away by the wind. As the days drew closer, his actions took on an unsettling precision. Richard meticulously ensured that all arrangements left no room for suspicion. He orchestrated alibis, aligning his schedule to create a perfect facade of normality. Even his closest confidants remained oblivious to the storm brewing beneath his composed exterior. Each interaction with Emily during this period felt like a rehearsal for the final act, his words carrying hidden meanings, cloaked in affection yet loaded with intention. It was as if every gesture was designed to lull her into the trap he meticulously laid. Yet, beneath the surface, doubts simmered, fleeting moments of humanity, trying to claw their way to the forefront of his consciousness. only to be silenced by the overwhelming need to follow through. The beach house became more than a location. It transformed into a character in this unfolding drama, each room echoing with the weight of what was to come. But as fate would have it, the plan, flawless in its dark conception, teetered as unforeseen elements entered the stage. Stay with us as we continue to unravel this intricate and heart-stopping narrative, where plans meet the unpredictable nature of human destiny, leading us further down this harrowing path of obsession and consequence. The crime scene lay before the investigators like a silent tableau, a stark contrast to the coastal serenity that usually enveloped the beach house. The once pristine space now bore the marks of a struggle, a chilling testament to the events that had unfolded within its walls. The entryway, with its expansive glass doors, opened into a living area where the remnants of a hastily overturned lamp lay shattered, its porcelain shards scattered across the hardwood floor. Sunlight filtered through the gauzy curtains, casting long shadows that seemed to dance and flicker, hinting at untold stories hidden within the corners of the room. It was there, amidst the elegant yet disheveled decor, that the chilling reality of the crime hit hardest. Forensic teams moved with clinical precision, dusting every surface for fingerprints and meticulously collecting samples. The investigators noted disarray among the plush cushions and glass-topped coffee table, every detail speaking of a violent interruption to the home's usual tranquility. Suspicion drew their attention to a framed photograph, its glass cracked, lying face down amidst the chaos. Outside, the soft call of the ocean was juxtaposed with the methodical footsteps of officers, combing the surrounding grounds for any clue that might reveal what transpired. As they surveyed the perimeter, their eyes were drawn to a set of footprints leading toward the water. The tide had already begun to erase them, a relentless force that sought to conceal potential evidence under layers of sand. The absence of a body within the house intensified the mystery, prompting a thorough search of the coastline and prompting questions that hung heavily in the salt-tinged air. Initial impressions painted a picture of a carefully planned scenario that somehow spiraled into chaos. The officers pondered the peculiarities, the lack of personal belongings, suggesting a quick exit or a deliberate removal. The air buzzed with tension as the forensic team continued their work, capturing every possible clue, knowing that each one could unravel the harrowing truth behind the facade of civility. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the beach house in a crimson glow, the police stood amidst the aftermath, piecing together the puzzle left behind. The scene was now imprinted with a sinister legacy, a haunting reminder of the darker depths of desire and desperation. With evidence in hand and questions lingering, the investigation launched in earnest, setting the stage for the unraveling of a tale that was anything but ordinary. Stay with us as we follow the trail of inquiry, where each revelation brings us closer to understanding the twisted journey that led here. The investigation begins with law enforcement receiving an urgent call that pierces the calm of the coastal town. The dispatcher, accustomed to routine disturbances, is jolted into action, sensing the gravity of what had transpired at the isolated beach house. The first responders arrive, the blue and red beams of their patrol lights casting eerie reflections on the otherwise tranquil waters. Detectives, seasoned and sharp-eyed, step into the scene with an air of scrutiny. This is not their first encounter with the unusual, but the air hangs heavy with a sense of urgency and intrigue. They immediately secure the perimeter, ensuring that the crime scene remains undisturbed by curious onlookers or the creeping tide. The initial examination is thorough as they conduct interviews with the few locals nearby, hoping for a thread to pull on amidst the swirling uncertainty. Each word exchanged is carefully noted, though most offer little more than speculation about the reclusive owner of the extravagant house, rumored to belong to Richard. Their task is daunting, compounded by the absence of a body, which leaves the detectives to piece together the fragmented narrative left in the wake of the apparent struggle. They meticulously document every inch of the property, their eyes trained to catch the smallest inconsistency. One of the officers catches sight of the footprints leading away from the house, and an instinct propels him to follow their fading trail. Meanwhile, inside, the lead detective scrutinizes the shattered photograph, the first tangible link to Richard. The cracked glass is a somber clue amidst the chaos, whispering of a personal connection that demands deeper exploration. Back at the precinct, a team is assembled, poring over databases and records to construct a profile of the enigmatic Richard. They discover his reputation, cultivated over years in business and society, but it is the whispers of financial strain that pique their interest, hinting at motives buried beneath layers of charm. As they delve into his life, they confront a maze of accounts and associates, each layer more complex than the last. Yet, it is Emily who emerges as a pivotal figure, the missing piece in this unfolding mystery. Her associations, dreams, and recent interactions paint a picture that both captivates and confounds the investigators. Slowly, the outlines of a deeper story begin to emerge, one that hints at obsession, power, and desperation. The challenge lies in untangling the truth from the web of deceit. As they examine phone records and surveillance footage, a pattern starts to appear, a breadcrumb trail leading back to decisions made in moments of passion and control. The investigation is painstaking, each clue a step closer to unveiling the chilling intentions behind the facade of affluence. As the detectives navigate this labyrinth, they are driven by the urgency to uncover the truth before time erodes their path. Stay with us as we continue to unravel this intricate tapestry, where every revelation brings us closer to the chilling heart of this true crime tale. Piecing the puzzle together, the investigators dove into the labyrinth of clues that was the story of Richard and Emily. Each lead was like a fragment of a grand picture, waiting for the right connection to reveal its significance. Their first breakthrough came from an unexpected source, a witness, a neighbor who had seen something that fateful night. This witness, initially reluctant to come forward, finally shared a crucial detail: a sleek black car parked near the beach house, its engine idling suspiciously. Equipped with this information, the detectives cross-referenced vehicle registrations and surveillance footage from nearby traffic cameras. It was a tedious task that required patience and precision, but their diligence paid off. They identified Richard's car on film, captured on the night of the incident, providing a tangible link that put him directly in the vicinity during the critical hours. Meanwhile, the forensic team meticulously processed every piece of evidence gathered from the crime scene. One key finding was a set of fingerprints lifted from the shattered photograph frame, belonging to none other than Richard himself. The cracked glass was not only a symbol of a broken connection, but now served as an undeniable link to Richard. As they pieced together this evidence, investigators also delved into the financial turmoil that had plagued Richard's business. Bank statements and emails painted a vivid picture of a man cornered by desperation, with motives that extended beyond personal obsession and into financial survival. Further scrutiny of Richard's phone records unveiled a series of conversations between him and a mysterious number. After tracing the line, they discovered it belonged to a private investigator hired by Richard months before the incident. This investigator provided valuable insights into Richard's psyche leading up to the event, revealing a man caught in a spiral of paranoia and control. Each witness statement added depth to the tapestry of the investigation. Friends and acquaintances painted a portrait of Richard as a man with a charm that belied his darkening intent. Emily's friends recounted stories of her expressing both awe and apprehension in equal measure, hinting at the duality of her experience with Richard. Her aspirations, once so vibrant, seemed to dim in their retelling, overshadowed by Richard's increasingly possessive behavior. Gradually, the investigators constructed a timeline that married the physical evidence with personal accounts, illuminating the path that led to the night in question. It began to reflect a narrative of manipulation, desire, and a plot bound in desperation. Finally, a forgotten piece of the puzzle emerged. A voice message from Emily to a close friend, left the day before her disappearance, hinting at a planned trip to the beach house. Her voice, filled with excitement yet tinged with an unspoken worry, was the final piece that cemented the sequence of events. The combined weight of evidence, both physical and circumstantial, painted a chilling portrait of premeditated intent. The investigators, faced with the stark reality of their findings, knew they were on the cusp of unraveling the entire mystery. With the puzzle nearly complete, they prepared to confront the harrowing truth, one that would ultimately determine the fate of all involved. Stay with us as we delve into the next stage of this gripping tale, where justice steps forward, seeking to bring clarity to the shadows that once obscured the truth. The arrest of Richard unfolded like an unexpected tempest, catching him in the comforts of his own home. Detectives arrived with a quiet resolve, their presence both commanding and unyielding. As they moved through the grandiose halls filled with artifacts of a life once glittering, Richard maintained a facade, one of disbelief shrouded in practiced composure. The moment that handcuffs clicked shut, a piercing reality set in, as the walls of his opulent fortress seemed to close around him. With Richard in custody, the stage was set for the trial that would captivate and divide opinions across the nation. The courtroom, an arena of high drama, bore witness to the unfolding of a narrative that was as intricate as it was harrowing. On one side, the prosecution laid out a meticulously crafted timeline, highlighting the physical evidence and the web of financial turmoil that painted Richard as a man with both motive and opportunity. Their opening statement was pointed and deliberate, presenting the shattered photograph, fingerprints, and phone records as cornerstones of a case built on both obsession and desperation. The defense, however, was astute and unyielding, constructing an argument that aimed to sow seeds of doubt in the solidity of the case. They painted Richard as a victim of circumstances, a man caught amidst a perfect storm of speculation and misinterpretation. They leaned heavily on the lack of a body, crafting a narrative that suggested an alternate series of events, where Emily's disappearance held more questions than answers. Expert witnesses were called to analyze the evidence, each scrutinizing the details with a precision that left the courtroom in silent anticipation. Forensic experts debated the implications of the fingerprints, while financial analysts dissected Richard's business records, exploring every facet that might lead to reasonable doubt. The defense played on emotional chords, portraying Richard as a loving but flawed individual, whose eccentricities were misconstrued as malice. Days turned into weeks as the trial meandered through the intricacies of legal maneuvering, each day bringing new revelations and testimonies that shifted the jury's perception. The closing arguments were delivered with fervor and eloquence, the prosecution urging the jury to see through the smoke and mirrors of the defense's narrative, while the defense implored them to consider the absence of unequivocal evidence. The jury's deliberation was tense, a weighty silence hanging over the courtroom as everyone awaited the verdict. It was a moment where truth and justice hung in the balance, the outcome set to ripple through the lives of all those ensnared in the tale. Stay with us as we unveil the resolution to this courtroom drama, a testament to how the pursuit of truth can unravel even the most tightly woven web of deceit. The verdict was delivered in a courtroom tense with anticipation. As the jury filed back into their seats, the air was thick with a silence that seemed to hold the collective breath of everyone present. When the foreperson stood to announce their decision, the room felt as if it stood on the edge of history. Guilty. The word echoed, reverberating through the space with a finality that no one could ignore. Richard's reaction was one of disbelief, his composed facade cracking under the weight of reality as the judge pronounced the sentence, life imprisonment. This outcome was a testament to the meticulous work done by the prosecution, whose careful stitching of evidence had painted a picture too compelling to dismiss. The aftermath of the trial saw ripples throughout not just the lives of those directly involved, but also within the broader society, grappling with the case's implications. For Emily's friends and family, the verdict brought a bittersweet relief, affirming the suspicions held close to their hearts, yet unable to fill the void left by her absence. The realization that justice had been served was tempered by a sorrow for the loss of a future that once seemed so bright. For Richard's acquaintances, it was a moment of reckoning, a confrontation with the duality of a man they once admired. The shadow of his actions cast doubt and suspicion, prompting reflection on the nature of relationships built on charm and influence. Beyond the personal sphere, the trial sparked conversations about the allure and dangers of wealth and power, an exploration of how obsession can twist even the most glamorous facades. It prompted a re-evaluation of societal attitudes towards such relationships, urging a dialogue on the delicate balance between admiration and control. In the end, the verdict underscored a powerful truth, that beneath the sheen of affluence lies a vulnerability to darker impulses, reminding all that desire, unchecked, can lead to destruction. As this chapter closes, we are left with a story that challenges us to reflect on the thin line between indulgence and obsession, and consider how we navigate these complex dynamics in our own lives. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of the human psyche and the mysteries it can unravel. Reflections on obsession and crime compel us to confront the intricate dance between desire and control, a theme that permeated Richard and Emily's story. Obsession, by its very nature, distorts the boundaries between love and possession, intertwining affection with a hunger for dominance. Richard's descent into darkness illustrates how unchecked desires can warp perceptions, turning aspirations into delusions. In the pursuit of wealth and admiration, a glamorous facade can conceal the red flags of possessive behaviors and manipulative tendencies. The allure of opulence, while mesmerizing, carries with it the potential to spiral into paths of control and desperation. It is a cautionary tale highlighting the importance of recognizing and addressing the signs of obsession before they manifest into something tragic. Society must understand that beneath the gilded allure of a seemingly perfect lifestyle lies the risk of losing one's sense of self and discernment. In stories like Richard and Emily's, the lessons are paramount. Recognizing the early signs of controlling behavior is crucial, as is fostering open communication and self-awareness in relationships. Empowering individuals to seek help when boundaries are crossed can serve as a critical step in preventing similar tragedies. By shining a light on the shadows cast by unchecked desire, we can encourage a culture that values mental well-being and relational health. Support systems, both personal and societal, must be strengthened to offer safe havens for those feeling trapped in such dynamics. This tale, while a specific narrative, serves as a universal reminder of the fragile line between yearning and obsession. As we conclude our exploration of this dark journey, may it provoke reflection on the complex intersections of human desire, cautioning against the dangers of letting obsession cloud judgment. Let this be a call to remain vigilant and compassionate, fostering environments where individuals can thrive without the shadow of control and fear. In summary, the tale of Richard and Emily stands as a haunting testament to the complexities of human desire and the dark paths it can carve. We've journeyed through a narrative woven with charisma, power, and ultimately, obsession. The initial allure of glamour and wealth gave way to a chilling descent into the shadows, revealing how unchecked desires can unravel the very fabric of a person's life. We've seen how the all-consuming need for control can dismantle relationships, leading to tragic outcomes that leave an indelible scar on those involved. At its core, this story is a potent reminder of the fragile boundaries between indulgence and obsession, and the catastrophic consequences when they are crossed. As you recount the twists and turns of this gripping tale, consider the broader implications of human behavior and societal values that this story illuminates. What safeguards can we put in place to recognize and address obsession before it spirals beyond control? Reflect on these questions as you contemplate the thin line that separates desire from destruction. We invite you to ponder these themes and share your thoughts on how we can foster healthy, balanced connections in a world often captivated by the allure of power and possession. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the shadows, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories that challenge and intrigue the human